Hey pillars, and welcome back to another cycling video. This is a quick video and preview and prediction of who's going to win the World's 2022 road race for the men. So I want to give my opinion, my stats, and just take a really quick look at the course. So let's jump right into it. Now, taking a look at the map of where this year's road race will be taking place. We're starting in Helensburgh and finishing in Wollongong. Now, this is being taken place in Australia. It's 267.6 kilometers long, elevation gain of 4,133 meters. So it is going to be a long day on the bike. It is somewhat of a classic style race in terms of the course profile, which we are taking a look at right now. So at about 40 kilometers, you have Mount Kiera, which is 7.5 kilometers long, 5.7%. It's not going to be a problem even for the sprinters. You know, they'll be able to get over this relatively early because it is basically within the first 40 Ks of the race. But then they're doing circuits around Wollongong, and basically they're going to have to go up Mount Pleasant, 1.1 kilometers at 8.6% for basically the rest. So that's almost 200 kilometers after that initial climb, and that's when it's really going to build up. And I would say this course really suits a puncher style rider. It's not going to be a pure sprinter. I don't think that's going to be able to win this year's Worlds, or a pure climber. The rider is going to have a good kick, because that 1.1 kilometer climb at 8.6% at race pace is just going to really drain the legs, and just the repetitiveness of that to get to the line, that can make all the difference. So I'm really curious to see what rider is actually going to be able to do it. And this year's Worlds, it looks like there's a lot of riders, in my opinion, that can take it. Now, taking a look at the list of top competitors that could win the Rainbow Bands, I believe, like I was saying before, there's more than one shoe-in favorite. But we have Tadej Pogacar for Slovenia, Wout van Aert and Remco Evenepoel for Belgium. We have Netherlands, Mathieu the Cyborg van der Poel. And then for France, lower down the list, we have Benoit Cosnefroid. Now, the reason why I want to bring him up is because he just came off of great form in Quebec, and Tadej Pogacar came off of great form in Montreal. And I usually say the Canadian races are great prep for Worlds. So in terms of who I think is the shoe-in favorite, we do also have to look at the teams. Now, before I give in my favorite pick for this year's Worlds, I do want to show the list of teams and the riders that they're bringing to support these top riders. So even if we look at France, you might have been asking, why didn't I mention Julian Alaphilippe? Well, he came off a bad crash during the season, so his form's kind of undetermined, but France's squad is pretty deep. Along with Netherlands, I would say Slovenia has a pretty good team that's going to be supporting Tadej Pogacar, and Belgium has a very, very strong team as well. But it's going to come down to those decisive moves, and I think all these teams can pretty much get their stars relatively to the point where attacks are really going to start going off on the later, closing laps of the circuit. So all in all, I think when I have to share my opinion and what my prediction is, usually I don't get these wrong, but I just came off of getting the ITT extremely wrong. Now, this is the point of the video where I will share my predictions in terms of who I think is going to wear the Rainbow Bands, and I'll give some reasoning behind that. So I would love to go with Tadej Pogacar, just because I think he is coming off of incredible form, and I think the amount of elevation really does suit his abilities. But then again, I think Wout van Aert, in my heart, he's really, I'm leaning really heavily towards Wout. I think him missing the ITT, there's a reason behind that. I think he's very, very logical in terms of how he plans his form. So I think Wout van Aert, as long as he is able to stay within the attacks and he is protected by the Belgium squad, I think he could definitely get to the later stages of the race. Now, Mathieu van der Poel, that's a big threat, because Mathieu van der Poel's form has been really good as well. I think this year's Worlds is going to be super entertaining just because of the names. Mathieu van der Poel is going to race like a cyborg. Wout van Aert is going to race like an android, and Tadej Pogacar is going to race like insanely as well. So I'm very excited. Also, I think France poses a threat. We don't know how Julian Alaphilippe's form is, but I would love to see Wout van Aert in the Rainbow Bands. But then again, I wouldn't mind seeing Mathieu van der Poel or Tadej Pogacar in the Rainbow Bands, but it's such an unpredictable one. I honestly, I would say Wout van Aert, here I'm going to make a logical assumption. I would say Tadej Pogacar, to really make a difference because of the power difference between him and Wout van Aert or Mathieu van der Poel, he would have to go like very decisively and just try to drop everyone, and just get enough separation near the end. But Wout van Aert or Mathieu van der Poel, if they can respond to that, then it's one of those tactical, if it's a group of 4, if it's a group of 3, like their sprint compared to Tadej Pogacar. Even though I think Tadej Pogacar has a great kick to his sprint, I would still say that Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel on the best days, if we're comparing everyone, is still going to outsprint Tadej Pogacar, but that's my opinion. So I'd love to hear who you guys think is going to win this race is going to be epic, and I will be doing a race recap about it, so stay tuned for that. So if you guys did enjoy this quick video, I just wanted to share my thoughts because I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I was looking at the course, I'm like, this is gonna be a good race, and I think it's very unpredictable. Like, there's no shoe-in favorite to win this race, so I think it's a great course to see who's gonna win, and it's happening this Sunday, so stay tuned for that. I'll drop the video as fast as possible, and into the next one, keep on pedaling.